I started out extremely skeptical about this whole thing. I thought this was just rubbish from the tabloids, but I was surprised to find thousands of U.S. government documents from intelligence agencies that tended to indicate that there was a little bit more to this than met the eye. So I went to seek guidance from the various highest levels of the United States intelligence community, and I was quite alarmed at what I was able to learn. Being a technologist, being called in to analyze various video films and photographic evidence, it's quite conclusive to me. Perhaps human beings aren't the only intelligence in the universe, and that they have in fact been here to visit in spite of projects like the NASA SETI project, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence in deep space.
All right, Bob, I want to ask you a few questions because I know you've got some interesting things to say. You've seen pictures, photographs of aliens, right?
Yes, I have.
They are different than us, but it's interesting to note that they are humanoid and that they have 2 arms and hands and 2 eyes and so forth. They're quite much like us, only in significant ways they're different.
I was shown a photographic rendition that involved an actual, what appeared to be some form of an alien creature, typical to the gray aliens that have been referred to popularly in the publications and the press. The creature was encased in sort of a glass coffin-like structure that was being preserved. There was a lot of apparatus, tanks and so forth, probably some form of a cryogenic tank to preserve the body from decay.
Bob Oechsler, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Nicky.
Now, first of all, you were a NASA mission specialist, right?
Yes, I was a NASA mission specialist. My area of expertise is robotics, and I did work on a variety of projects, the Apollo-Soyuz test project, the International Ultraviolet Explorer, and I also worked on the shuttle project involving the mechanical manipulator arm. I would like to make a couple of comments, if I might, just
Yes.
In answer to some of the comments that I've just heard, one involving the issue of keeping secrets. The United States government's in the business of keeping secrets. That's essentially what they do. There's quite a number of statistics out showing vast numbers in the millions per year of secrets that are classified. The issue of sensationalism surrounding this particular topic is essentially the one thread that makes it possible to maintain secrecy for such a long period of time.
All right, Bob, I want to ask you a few questions because I know you've got some interesting things to say. You've seen pictures, photographs of aliens, right?
Yes, I have.
What do they look like?
Well, there's actually a variety of species that somehow or another have managed to interact with this planet. The primary and dominant one, which seems to be interacting with the human population, it's really somewhat more ominous than I would prefer to get into, but they're, as far as their descriptions, they're rather small in stature. They're about roughly 4 feet high, a little over a meter tall. They have a somewhat oversized head in proportion to the rest of the body. They are humanoid. They have 2 legs, 2 arms, hands. The hands have but 3 fingers and kind of a stub of a thumb. The
Not unlike
eyes
something
are
Steven...
extraordinarily large, almond-shaped.
Not unlike something that Steven Spielberg would come up with.
Not entirely. In fact, the figure that a lot of people are familiar with, the creature E.T. from the movie E.T., is in fact a composite that was done from real aliens, both live and deceased, that have been recovered in a variety of situations involving crashes of these vehicles.
Right. Talking of the vehicles, just talking of the vehicles, I want to bring in David Whitehouse, science correspondent, who's with us tonight. Just talking of the vehicles which you mentioned there, you can categorically state that you have spoken to top American physicists who have worked on and examined these vehicles, these UFOs.
Absolutely.
Why don't the aliens do more to reveal themselves to us?
Well, let us look at it in the perspective of what we have in terms of the evidence of what the aliens have accomplished. I think you could liken it to looking at the human population as a laboratory experiment.
We're guinea pigs.
Yeah, it's like guinea pigs. Now, do you think the guinea pigs would actually be able to convince one of us to come and communicate directly to them? about what we're going to do to them? I think not.
What I'm saying to you...
The situation entails here a very extraordinary series of experiments that have been going on where, in effect, the human population is the guinea pig here.
What I'm saying to you is, Bob, do the aliens want to reveal themselves to us? Or are they quite happy keeping it on a sort of clandestine level?
Well, the evidence has clearly been in the past that the aliens have participated as much in the cover-up, if you will, as the governments have. However, there certainly appears as though there is somewhat of an alien glasnost policy going on in the town of Gulf Breeze, Florida, where I am presently. For 3 years consecutive now, there have been so many very close-up encounters and sightings and photographs and videotapes. High-technology photographs are being done even as we speak now. I have examined a lot of this material. In fact, in January of this year, I was able to bring an ABC network television crew here, and within 3 days, we had 2 sightings and recorded it on videotape using high-resolution camera equipment, and it was subsequently broadcast across America. It's ironic that some 80% of the United States missed that part of the broadcast because of the Gulf War update. However, it was subsequently run some weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Heinz Wolf, yeah, but do you still think it's a load of nonsense?
Yes, but can I ask quite a specific question about this gravity-free room? Because that is perhaps more easy to demonstrate than an alien. Have you been inside this gravity-free room? And if you have, and if experienced microgravity, why do you think billions of dollars are being spent to establish microgravity conditions in space?
Well, I think that's quite obvious, really. I'm also aware of some other projects where this same technology was applied to the B-2 stealth project.
The stealth bomber
is a case where there's some $842 million per plane being spent when they have technology that's infinitely superior. The key and the answer to your question regarding waste is it's not waste at all. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about economics.
Right, let's not talk about jobs and economics just now, Bob, because you make a very interesting point there. You say that the stealth bomber, which we all know, of course, from the Gulf conflict, came, really, the aliens helped us build that plane. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say the aliens helped us build it, no. What I would say is that we have been working with the technology for so long, we have found ways to adapt the technology for our own uses. And in the case of the B-2 stealth project, at least, I don't know about the 117A stealth fighter, but in the stealth bomber project, I'm fully aware of the development of an anti-gravity cabin for that particular plane. It was designed, in fact, for vertical takeoff and landing.
David Whitehouse, you can't argue with that.
The stealth bomber is an interesting bit of technology, but its performance in the Gulf War was not particularly impressive. Isn't it rather stupid of the American government when they have got these gravity alien spacecraft which can seemingly flit around in the atmosphere undetected at enormous speeds to be messing around with the crude technology of a stealth bomber?
Well, the answer to that's quite simple. Why bring out your best ammunition when you don't need but just a little bit of old technology to handle the situation? Why give away your hand? Don't you play poker?
It's interesting, though, the attitude about the American government, because, Timothy, in your book, you say, and a lot of it is hearsay and rumour, but it's very interesting hearsay and rumour, and as you say, people aren't going to actually come out and say this because too much is at risk. But you say there's an interesting theory on the series of space films that we've been seeing, you know, E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Time. What's that exactly?
Well, it has been speculated that a number of science fiction films have received a certain amount of backing from the United States government to promote the general concept of extraterrestrials. But it's just a hypothesis. I'm not saying that's true.
There was a rumour at some stage, and you mentioned in your book The Cosmic Journey, there was a George Bush-sanctioned exhibition which was going to actually show off a UFO.
Well, as a matter of fact, both Bob and I have been involved in this Cosmic Journey project, which is a planned international exhibition funded by the United States government with Rockwell International and NASA, and it is apparently to feature an extraterrestrial vehicle and/or a body, and Bob Oechsler has gained a great deal of information about this from people, for example, a general in the Pentagon. Perhaps he can tell us more about it.
No, this is the most amazing thing. I mean, why do it like
hang on, we've got Bob back. Yeah, go on, Bob. You had a meeting in the Pentagon with a general about an exhibition that you were going to show off an unidentified flying object which had been captured or surrendered.
Yes, that's true. As a matter of fact, the meetings really started down in Orlando, Florida, which is the corporation that was essentially the front for developing the project. It's a dual project involving the United States and Tokyo as well. In fact, Junichi Yaoi, who is here with me in Gulf Breeze, was my counterpart on the Tokyo exhibit.
Okay.
The exhibit essentially is to create a traveling exhibit to show the planetary space program, the development of that program. Fully 1/3 of the exhibit involves the UFO phenomenon, and as Timothy pointed
That's a lot.
a disk and a variety of other issues.
I know that the physicists on Earth that you've been in contact with have spoken to these aliens. I want to know where these aliens come from, and I want to know where do we come from.
Do they speak English?
Well, I can take the last question first about do they speak English. It's not necessary to speak any specific language of the planet because they predominantly use a telepathic type of communication which uses both hemispheres of the brain, and the translation is done simultaneously.
Bob, we're running out of time. Where do we come from? Where have these aliens told your friends that we come from?
Well, the best guess might be that we come from a planetary system, or actually a test tube project, if you will, from a planetary system 36.6 light years away. According to some of the documents the physicist has reviewed, it's
what you're saying is we are a genetic experiment by alien beings and superior intelligences.
Presenting Cosmic Journey.
One of the most revealing glimpses of just what the Pentagon knew about the existence of crash saucers and alien contact came in 1989 with the development of a top-secret project codenamed Cosmic Journey.
Cosmic Journey is a new experience in live entertainment, a new concept and a new dimension. This is something that no one should miss, and I guarantee you that millions and millions of people throughout the world will remember this for the rest of their life.
Its aim was to display to the public, by way of a travelling exhibition, the crashed craft and preserved alien bodies that the government had in its possession. The Pentagon enlisted the help of Bob Oechsler, a NASA mission specialist in robotics, who was also a respected UFO researcher. At a series of meetings in Washington in 1989, military officials set out their plans to Oechsler.
They were devising a variety of kiosks to show the history of the UFO sightings, UFOs associated with the space program, and of course aliens associated commonly with the abduction phenomenon. I was shown a photographic rendition that involved an actual, what appeared to be some form of an alien creature, typical to the gray aliens that have been referred to popularly in the publications and the press. The creature was encased in sort of a glass coffin-like structure that was being preserved. There was a lot of apparatus, tanks and so forth, probably some form of a cryogenic tank to preserve the body from decay.
As part of his indoctrination program, Oechsler was flown out to an offshore NORAD tracking facility. Traveling in unmarked black helicopters, they headed out 20 miles off the coast of Florida, landing on what looked like an oil rig.
As we got into this facility, we descended to an area that I would describe as sort of a mezzanine area, looking out over a control room. This was obviously a NORAD tracking facility. There was a huge screen. It represented an area of the southeast quadrant of the United States. Then there were a series of lights that were floating along sort of like the top of this grid area. There were 5 of them in all. Were labeled, by the way, on the screen as ASCs, and I heard someone make reference to alternative spacecraft. The craft went down into this grid, into this vortex area, and then dispersed. And no one seemed to be concerned at all.
Presenting Cosmic Journey, an experiential entertainment concept of Kenneth Feld Productions. Cosmic
I've
Journey
not
is
since been contacted by anyone associated with the Cosmic Journey. There have been, since the publication of the book revealing the project itself, there have been a number of plausible denials by members associated with the project, and of course categorical denials on anything related to the more intrinsic alien issues.